Guys doing? I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes until all of you all join me. I'm just going to tell MJ that that I'm in. So today is a very interesting topic, guys, because you all are probably wondering, what is this twin flame journey about and how fluid it is. And the reason why I use the term fluid is because that's how the whole journey is. And often when you look at the journey, hello Henry, so happy to see you as always. All right, I hope you guys are all excited for today's topic. Lovely to see you, MJ, as always. All right, guys, today's topic is really relevant because sometimes you're thinking, I'm doing all the work, I'm living by every little thing that could help me effect, you know, make a change in my twin flame journey, but yet nothing is happening. So I want you guys to understand that often the twin flame journey in itself is orchestrated by the universe, by the divine. So sometimes things can be out of our control. So the whole thing is, the reason why there is separation is because you feel separated from the universe itself, you feel separated from the divine. So as long as that separation, on a mind level exists, you're going to keep thinking that I'm being separated from my tutor. You get what I mean? So it's about ultimately embracing every single thing. That's what makes the twin flame journey a successful one, because it's not only about being in union with your divine masculine or divine feminine, but it's about being in union with everything, with existence in itself, like knowing that you are from the universe, you are from God, and that we all interconnected. So that realization is very important in the twin flame journey. Hi Nimit, good to see you too. So, guys, I'm going to give it a few more minutes until you all come in. So, meanwhile, tell me, how has it been going? How has your weekend been? It's December. December energies have been much more lighter than November. So, tell me, guys, have you all been doing? Have you experienced anything different energetically? Please feel free to share it here because, this is a space where you can talk about anything. Okay, so I'm going to move into the topic because you have like five of you here. So, why is it that the twin flame relationship itself is so unpredictable? It's like there is no, you see, example, like in 3D life, you put in effort, you get a job, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like you put in the effort, you get the results out of it. But in a twin flame journey, it's rather interesting because it doesn't work that way. Hi, Linda. So good to see you. Yes, it's been a while. So lovely to see you. And hi, Tammy. So lovely to see you here today. Always happy to see all of you all. You guys are amazing. And I hope you guys are excited about today's topic. So, yeah, going back to that, no matter what you do, you may feel like there is no progress, there's nothing happening, because what you perceive as progress and what you perceive as evolution, or anything that you feel that you are chasing towards, or you think that it's like a race, then you are actually not progressing at all, because you can't view the journey in a very 3D perspective, because often that's the trap that a lot of y'all fall into. You think that it's about, if I do all this, if I do all that, if I do all these healings, if I completely surrender to soul, I'm going to be with my twin flame. It doesn't work that way. And you guys would have probably realized that too, because you guys are on this journey for a while and you know that it's not as direct as it seems. That's why today we're going to talk about how to actually let go, completely let go, completely come into that stage of surrender so that you start attracting, manifesting the outcome that you intend. And union in itself, like I said in the start, at the start of the video, it's not about only being with your twin flame in 3D, but in all dimensions. And it's also about realizing that we are one with the universe and not separate at all. So that is the irony, or that is the metaphor actually. Once you don't feel separate and you start experiencing the oneness of the universe, you'll realize you're much closer to union in your twin flame journey than ever. Hi, Stephanie. Good to see you. Hi, Britt. Good to see you. And hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Always good to see all of you guys. So, again, guys, tell me, how have you all been? How has your weekend been? And how has December been? Did you guys feel the excitement that 2022 is coming to an end? That you have 2023 to look forward to, and how things are all going to change for the better? That's why, guys, intention and mindset, they're two different things. I mean, they're two different things, but again, they're interrelated and it's vital for the TF journey. As usual, if you guys have any questions, feel free to interrupt me and ask me, and I'll just keep going. All right? Okay, so when it comes to the journey, often you would think that, all right, I do all of these things and then I'm going to get this outcome, right? So that's usually how you would perceive anything in life to be. I put in effort, I get the outcome. Simple. Twin flame journey is going a step. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Twin flame journey is about going a step higher than that. It's about superseding expectations and actually to focus on inner growth and evolution. That is to truly realize what you are on a soul level. All this actually matters. So it's not just a romantic fantasy. I do a bit of character development, and excuse, sorry guys, I don't know why suddenly I have a cough and I don't have water next to me, but that's all right. Yes, as I was saying, so no matter what you do, you may feel that you're not seeing any progress in your journey. That is because you're not truly doing the work. Because truly doing the work is embracing everything and truly traveling in this journey of life and realizing who you are on a soul level. And that is vital to this experience. That is embracing everything. Sometimes you may feel like, why am I unlucky? Why is it that I'm always sabotaged in my life? Why is it that I go through this? Why is it that I go through that? And constantly, this is what's happening in my life, and no matter what I do, this is what happens. And you are like torn between everything that goes on in your mind and your life, and you're just trying to figure out what this is all about. And that question in itself inspires awakening. So it is important to ask these questions. And also, you can't really copy another person's experience in this journey as well. So it's like, oh, I'm doing everything the other person did and they have reached union, and why have I not? You have to understand that you are unique as you are on a soul level. So you can't really match your experience with someone else. Having said that, you also have to understand that you are truly not in control of this journey, because there's so much more weaved into this journey besides being in physical union and having kids and having a happily ever after kind of life. It's beyond that. If you really, really look into your journey, it's interwoven with missions, your role to play on earth, things that you have got to do, why you have to stay hidden, why you are even in separation, and why you are being the way you are. And then you would realize that divine is the one that's orchestrating everything. So that's why surrendering to divine is one of the first steps in this journey, actually, like truly surrendering and asking divine, why do I feel this way? Why am I in this journey? Why am I suffering a lot? And why is it that no matter what I do, I am stuck in this constant loop? And then slowly you will start to realize the true magic happening, because one step at a time, with your complete surrender, no expectations, not low expectations, no expectations mode, you will start to see changes in your journey. Because you will, and another thing is, there is this misconception, oh, if I do this healing, or if I do this, if I do that, I'll be fine. But you have to realize you're doing this healing for yourself, you know, and healing yourself is important because you have to clear out all that doesn't serve you first before you go on to the next step of healing for your twin flame as well. Hi, Josephine. So good to see you as always. So today we are talking about how is it that no matter what you do, you're still not getting towards union, or in other words, how fluid the twin flame journey is and how everything is determined by the divine. So with that, I'm going to talk about how you can actually cope with these things, because you may be wondering why, and these whys may take a great toll on you, because you're always wondering, why is it that no matter what I do? Another thing is that you may feel that you're getting closer to union and you might start hanging out with your twin, and then all of a sudden history repeats itself. You're back to where you started, or you're worse off. Hi, Amber. I'm good. How are you? Good to see you. I'm so happy. I'm seeing my usual people here. It's always a joy to see you guys. Guys, do tell me how you're feeling about December and December's energies. December's energies have started off well, so you may be finding yourself completing old cycles from October and November. Generally, you may be feeling a little lighter, and you may also feel a bit more inspired and motivated this month. And that is also because you're coming to the end of the year, things usually tends to calm down a little, and you have the time to actually focus on what matters to you. It may be uh, going back to seeing your family, going on a getaway. There's so many things you can do to make your soul feel alive. Hi, Chantel. Good to see you. So, guys, do you have any questions? I'm going to keep going if you guys don't have any questions. So, as I was saying, separation. So, separation from your twin and separation from yourself is actually similar. So, when you feel like you just exist by yourself, or you're just an individual not connected with the universe, you are experiencing separation. So, it's the same thing. Once you start embracing all that is in this physical plane, you will soon see the wisdom behind what is happening to you. And that separation is happening because you are separated from yourself. You are separated from the universe. You are separated from everything, and you don't feel the connection. Megan, yay, you made it. I'm good. How are you doing? As always, happy to have you here too. Really, as I was saying, I'm so happy to see you guys. This is my first live in December, and it's always nice to just tune in, catch up with you guys, and see how all of you are doing. Linda, yes, I've been feeling inspired and trying to let go of expectations. Me and my DM message each other on and off. So I'm trying to deal with the days we have no communication. And that is quite hard because a lot of what you're feeling and experiencing is related to 3D. So it's not easy to just hop on to 5D and pretend you're not suffering at all. And that's not going to help either because what is essentially going to happen is that you're going to be in denial. You're going to feel like, you know what, I'm going to, I'm just going to experience separation and I'm not going to do anything about it. And when you do that, you feel this inner pain because you know that you're not doing something right. So you keep on trying and trying and trying. But the thing is, it's not about trying, it's about realizing, and realization is the key in this journey. Because without self realization, without enlightenment, you are going to be stuck and you're not going to go anywhere. So that's why, guys, it is so important to truly, truly, truly be able to figure out what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you need to know, and what it is that you have to clear. And what it is that you have to clear comes from your past lives. So, a lot of who you are right now is a product of your past lives. It's what you know, right? And you tend to react from what you know. So, sometimes it's good when you don't have a history because you're not being pulled back by one. But then again, that is not all that is in this journey that is affecting you. It's more than that. It is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like no matter what you do in your journey, you may feel like I am not progressing because you can't even view it that way. It's not about progressing in this journey, it's about existing and living and evolving in this journey with no expectations and placing your faith 100% with God, divine universe, however you want to see it. Megan, it's busy night here at work. Baltimore City is the sickest city on the planet. Why? What's happening, Megan? Oh dear. It's really interesting, COVID kind of like kept the world, all wrapped in, and people were like all just existing within their cocoon, and now it's like back to trying to be back to normal, and yet things are still not going or progressing in a way that you may want it to. So for example, I'm going to ask you a question. Like, if you were to ask yourself what stage or where you are in your twin flame journey, how would you answer that? Because you can't really answer that because there is no stage or there's no level because everything is orchestrated by the universe. So you have to just get into this journey, brace yourself, and just experience it. That is the whole purpose. Tongue in cheek, Vahish, people just call like, oh boy, I'm so sorry to hear that. People are just people. And another thing is, pain is part of the journey as well. So, no matter what you do, you are going to experience that level of pain, but you have to look at pain in itself as a catalyst for change and progress and evolution. Tammy, I feel like this journey is the most beautiful experience. I'm really enjoying living in the now moment and just observe the situations my higher self presents for me. Oh, that's a beautiful way to look at, Tammy. Thanks for sharing that. So, going on, let go of control. A huge part is that most of you are unable to let go of control in this journey. You're just stuck, and you just don't know where you're going or what you're trying to do, and you're constantly going around in circles, like a headless chook, in other words, not knowing what I should do. It's not even in what I should do. It's just experiencing, living in the moment, and just embracing where you are. So even if you are in separation, you should embrace that moment. You should enjoy the singlehood. You should enjoy being away from your twin and actually focus on doing something that's uplifting. And there's so many things you can do, focusing on yourself, actually paying attention to what you want to do in life, fully investing in yourself. When there is separation, consider that a blessing because that is your time to become the best version of yourself. And you may ask me, like, oh, why can't I do it with my twin flame? With my twin flame, it would be better. But you see, that comes from neediness. You can do anything you want to do just by being with yourself. So you don't need to have that expectation of being with your twin flame either. But of course, if your twin flame is part of your journey, that's all the more good. But the journey in itself is about you. It's about your own soul progress, it's about your own soul growth, and it is about you flowering into becoming the most beautiful version of yourself. Sometimes you may feel like you're walking on water because this journey doesn't make sense at all. And sometimes you may feel like I can't be positive no matter what I try. I still feel tired because I don't know what is happening with my journey or my life or everything that doesn't matter. And worse off, you're starting to wonder, hey, I've known my twin flame for so long. Why is it that we can't just get into bloody union? Okay, I'm going to read Megan's message. I finally gotten to the point where I am no longer following animal to blur and cross boundaries when it suits him. I'm teaching him that he can cause no longer have it both ways with me. It's caused him to go silent, but I'm not allowing his sulking to affect me anymore. So, this is an example. Thanks, Megan, for sharing that. This is an example to show that you are actually acting as per what you feel will be the best for you. And sometimes that is a good way to go. There is no right or wrong in this journey. So, with that, you being yourself and actually responding and reacting the way you would usually do is what's going to help you with your soul evolution. For instance, you're trying to pretend, you're trying to embrace, you're trying to be a pushover, then nothing is going to change. See it from your perspective and also don't be fixated on union because when you're fixated on union, you're being a put off to the universe, and then the universe is just going to make the journey much longer. Also, there's another group of people who are constantly whining and thinking that they're never going to get into union. Again, what you say is what you're manifesting, and you may keep saying it, and then eventually you will realize that, oh no, what I am experiencing is so much more than what I am experiencing where I am. That's why take a moment to focus on your soul growth. And then slowly you will notice that things start to change. All right, I have a bit of water. That's good. All right, guys, I'm going to open the floor to questions. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to still talk about this topic because whatever what you do, a huge part of your journey is orchestrated by the universe. So no matter what you try, so don't resist, go with the flow. That is the biggest recommendation and advice I can give to you guys today. Instead of resisting, go with the flow. So if the universe feels that you need to be in separation, go into separation, go into hibernation mode. Even while you're by yourself, you are capable of doing so many things by yourself. Great. His lack of communication drives me bonkers. So since it's driving me crazy, there's obviously something with me that needs work. I can't figure out what it is though. All right, communication in itself is such a huge, it's so big, it's so whole as a topic, and and it's okay. And if you notice his lack of communication driving you bonkers, it's more happening on a 3D level because you are expecting him to communicate more. But if we take a step back, if you actually let go of expecting him to communicate, you will not go bonkers actually. You will find better ways and means of surviving in this journey. Okay, then with it comes the next part. The next part is slowly realizing who you are on the soul level and understanding that you are a divine being connected to divinity in itself, and how you are going to be that divine person while still being on earth and still surviving this journey. Becca, yes, access the power in your body, connect to yourself, yes, in a way. Like for instance, you see, like your computer or none of your devices are going to work if it's not plugged into electricity. So the same thing with the soul. If you are not connected to the dynamic universe, you are you are not going to operate at all. So it is vital to stay connected with the universe. And separation from the universe equates to separation from your twin flame as well. Becca, life is opening and so many new opportunities. Surrender. I'm getting it. Exactly. Another key part of this journey is also to trust where you're going. And trust is something that you will learn once you're on this journey because there's nothing else to hold on to. Because when everything else is falling apart, you are right there trying to make sense of it all. All right, guys, just give me a moment. I'm going to quickly grab some water and I'll be back. All right, I got some water so that my throat is not so dry. All right, Henry, going with the flow has become a key word. Haha. I used to wanted to have so much control, but the journey has helped me to enjoy the flow of life, appreciating the contrast of lower moments and appreciating the high moments even more than before, thanks to the low moments. Exactly. Thanks, Henry, for that. Once you're on the journey, you will start embracing everything. You will embrace the good moments, you will embrace the not so good moments, you will embrace life in itself. And when you come to that state of gratitude and appreciation, everything will start to change. Slowly you will notice that everything around you, your circumstances, your life, everything will start to fall in place, and you will notice you are content. Contentment is another big part of this journey. If you are not content with where you are, who you are, what you're doing, you're going to feel more and more distance with your twin because you're never going to feel good enough for your twin either. And another aspect of this journey is some, how some twin flames would push the blame on their divine masculine constantly. They'll be like, they are not doing the work, I'm trying. But you see, once you have that expectation, that in itself is work you got to do. Because you have to let go. You have to let go and trust the universe. You got to trust the universe that the universe will ensure that you will be happy in this journey. Hi, Belinda. Good to see you. That's all right. I'll still be going on for a good 20-25 minutes. So don't worry about it. Belinda says hello to everyone. So, just to catch Belinda up, we are talking about how the twin flame journey in itself is extremely fluid. And often you may feel that you have no control or you don't really have much say in what's happening in your journey, and how everything is orchestrated by the divine. And so, how do you actually flow in with the divine flow? I wanted to cover this part as well. How can you be in alignment with what you are destined to be with? If union is your only goal in this journey, it defeats the purpose of everything else. Because if you think about it, once you're in union, you're not going to be happy either. You're not going to be satisfied either. You're just going to go around and around and round and around in circles and still feel like there's something missing. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad, Belinda. I feel like a lot of topics that I talk about, you guys are probably already thinking about it. So often everything is synced. And but I used to wonder where he was going, when he was going to communicate and come back and have doubts. But when he came back for the third time, I was like, okay, I'm sure this is going to work out some way, somehow. I mean, most people don't come back three times, so this must be something special and different. Yeah, exactly. So you got to actually trust the coincidences that happen in your life. The pain is always going to be there, but if you keep thinking of a way to escape the pain, you're not really growing or evolving. If you look at pain in itself, innately pain inspires growth. Only in pain can one grow. Even as a child, you were in so much pain just growing up, like, especially imagine being in your mother's womb and you developing as a baby, and every single stage in your life, growing is painful, and so is the journey. If you are thinking that it's going to be so sweet and fun, it's not going to be, but there's still going to be some aspects of this journey that is going to be sweet and fun too. So, having said that, I want you guys to take a look within. How connected do you feel with the divine, with the universe, with God? And most of you all will feel like you're not as connected. And this is exactly what's being reflected upon with your divine masculine. You may think that you're connected. You may think that you have constantly surrendered. You may think that, oh, I've done all the work. I'm in a great state to be in union. But you're not, because you're still chasing expectations. You're still setting goals that you want to attain, which is fine. But the journey in itself is just not designed to be goal oriented. That's what I'm saying. No matter what you do, divine has its final say in this journey. So when you know divine has its final say in this journey, what should you do then? You should become best friends with the divine and work hand in hand with divinity in itself. Okay, Megan's reply to Amber. At least until pool legal season is over, Animal is kind of stuck with me for rides to our matches since he can't drive until May. You see, the universe. Megan didn't even ask for Animal, to be stuck with her. But this is how it is. When you let go and when you have complete faith in your journey, you will start manifesting the best possible outcome, because in surrender is the key to your overall evolution. All right, guys, keep the questions coming in. I want you to take a moment and actually think about, from the point you were created, not only in this lifetime, but from the point you were created in the physical plane of existence, how things have evolved and how you have grown as a soul, and how the whole physical experience has captured you to feel what you're feeling right now. Belinda, this might have been covered earlier, so my apologies if that's the case. How do we get closer to divine? Is it a case of having faith? Exactly. It is kind of having it is you can say it that way. It is kind of having faith in divine, but it's actually to embrace you as a soul. That in itself is getting closer to the divine. When you have completely surrendered and you have actually started going with the flow with the universe, you will notice that how much, no matter what you do, how much you try to do things, you will find yourself coming back to the start. That's why it's so important to embrace who you are on a soul level. And when you embrace who you are on a soul level, you're slowly inspiring that into everything else. So, answering Belinda's question, in order to get closer to the divine, you have to get closer to yourself. And that is one of the hardest things to do because being with yourself can be quite scary, it can be quite alarming. But only when you embrace who you are on a soul level, accepting yourself for your flaws and perfection, you are getting closer to yourself. And when you're getting closer to yourself, you're getting closer to divine. So it's just not one layer, oh, I pray to God and I'm fine. No, it is about seeing how we all connected in the soul level. Megan, it's kind of beautiful irony because of his need to control. And it's like the universe tailor made the situation just to give me control over our connection. Yes, in a way. Belinda, thank you so much for answering my question. That's very helpful. Oh, thank you for asking that question. And I'm glad I was able to address that part as well. That's why you have to look at stages: union with self, union with the universe, and then union with your divine counterpart. Union with self can be the scariest experience because you don't know what is it that you're going to experience, because you are just you. According to you, you are just you. You just exist as this one being in this one dimension, and that's all there is. Megan, I got so many personalities to talk to. Being alone with myself is never boring. Exactly, guys, and that is so true because you will often find yourself enjoying your company at best. And when you start loving yourself, things around you change. So self love is very, very important. A lot of twin flames want to be in union because they come from the place of lack of. And when you come from the place of lack of, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in this journey, always wondering what's going to happen to you. Okay, I was just looking if I missed out any questions. Rachel, not sure if this is correct or not, but I'm working on healing. So when the universe brings us together, it'll be beautiful and it will work out. Not necessarily the union, that healing will bring the union. You see, healing in itself is not going to bring you the union. Healing is part of rubbing lotion on your wounds. It's about looking within. It is about embracing who you are on a soul level. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, you know. Hi, Moni. Good to see you. I never had self love for myself before, and I love it. Oh. Well, that's going to change because when you're on the twin flame journey, you will be guided by the universe to start loving yourself. And starting to love yourself is a long process, and that is what actually stagnates your union with your twin flame as well. Because it takes a while for you to embrace who you are on the soul level, and often that is what determines where you're headed to in life as well. Megan, I talk to myself all the time and I do it at work too. Half my co-workers think that I'm batshit crazy because I'm having a full conversation with myself and answer my own questions. Oh, you mean you talk yourself out, which is completely fine. It's your life, it's your journey, and it's about embracing yourself and actually becoming your own best friend. Carolyn, I've been in a huff with the divine and pushing everything away, including my twin in 5D. I'm working on not being so stubborn. It's not easy when you're stubborn. Oh, yes. The stubbornness of the soul is a big thing, and a lot of human beings struggle from that. And a stubborn heart is good, when it comes to ambition, when it comes to achieving something on the earthly plane. But that is not going to inspire your union with your twin flame. That's the thing. And sometimes when the intention matters as well, from where are you pushing this away? Like from where are you um, pushing yourself? So often you are pushing yourself away from your path. And when that happens, again, you fall 10 steps back in the journey. Oh, I'm feeling so dehydrated, guys. So I'm drinking a lot of water. Summarizing all that I've been speaking, the union plays a huge role in your twin flame journey, more than you would expect it to. In fact, the divine is the one that orchestrates this entire journey. So if you find yourself feeling miserable, or if you find yourself feeling depressed, or if you find yourself feeling like I have nothing in control, it's time to actually embrace all that you're feeling and releasing them. Then you will realize slowly things around you start changing. Number two, when you sit down and truly self reflect and see what are the things that's missing from your life, that will be another big part of your journey being unraveled in front of you. Lastly, when you start understanding who you are on the soul level, your relationship with the divine will become closer, because you'll realize that we are all divine in our own regard. We are the universe, experiencing life in our limited 3D body. Once we realize this, and when I mean like realize this, everything around you will transform and you will start seeing magic in your life. That bottle, yes, actually, it is from Spain. That bottle. Oh, that's wonderful. The water, I used to have that bottle when I was in Spain. I had the bottle as well when I was with Hugo back in 2019. Even a bottle, if water can have exactly. Another thing is rejoicing memories, when you start to like appreciate everything that happens in your life, not only focusing on the setbacks, everything will start falling in place and everything will start transforming. And you will soon start to enjoy everything that happens in your life. And then you will truly figure out that, hey, this journey is not only about me, but it's about everything. It's about the entire cosmos. And when you feel that connection with the universe, like 100% connection, it is so transforming. You will notice that you are beyond who you are. You will start to realize that you are not you anymore. You are existence in itself. You are soul in itself, and you are everything. And when you have that level of connection with the universe, you know that you are close to divine. And when you are close to divine, and when you know you are divine, things will transform. and expectations would go away, regrets would go away, everything that happened in your life would go away, and you will enjoy the marvelous creation that is you. And once you start enjoying yourself, everything is magic, you know. And then you will see circumstances where your twin flame comes back into your life, and you'll realize that it's not difficult at all because it's all in alignment and it's all in vibration. And I've talked about it in my previous lives as well. Alignment, vibration, and frequencies. These are the three things that affect what is happening around you constantly. So that's how you actually shape your reality. So, with this, the moment you figure out how dynamic your soul is, you will not feel like you are in separation. Separation comes from the fact that you don't feel connected to the universe at all. And that's what is being mirrored to your twin flame. And that's why the separation with your twin flame hurts, because you are being separated from the universe yourself. So when you start moving away from the I perspective and you go into that everything is one, into the oneness mode, you will notice how you're infinitely connected to everything and everyone. And that's what is beautiful in this journey, because you will soon realize that everything that you do, everything that is happening, it's all a outplay of the universe. So that's where the magic is, and that's where the magic of everything comes into place. So guys, I'm going to go on. Oops. Belinda, I wonder if there are meditations on YouTube to help get closer to the universe. There are meditations on YouTube, which you can search. I'll probably find some and probably recommend it to you guys next week. But being it's about self-realization. It goes down to that. When you start realizing how, see, you keep seeing yourself as a separate physical body. And when you see yourself as a separate physical body, that's when you're losing touch with the universe and not feeling as connected as ever. Oh, 11:11. Yes, it's 1:11 in Singapore. Wow, amazing, amazing. Yeah, so Caroline, don't worry, like you would always, because we are all part of divine. So we will always, as a soul, we are always drawn back to where we come from. So we are always drawn back to divine, we're drawn back to the universe, we're drawn back to God. So if you feel like you are straying away from the journey, it's often you as a soul who makes the choice. So that's what MJ is saying. God, the universe never misleads anyone. It's often you as an individual who tends to distance yourself or walk away. Oh, 6:11 here. Oh, MJ has some recommendations. Steve Noble. Yes. Megan. Ah, 12:11 a.m. Wow. Oh, 9:11. Wow. This is like a magic moment where, all of you guys are here. Rain, hello all. Just dropping by to say hi. Wish I could stay. Good night. Oh, it's okay. Thanks for dropping by, Rain. Have a great night. And you can always watch this video because it's going to be here and it's recorded. And yeah, you won't have problems finding it. Once you start to realize how marvelous you as a creation are, your journey transforms. You are no longer who you used to be anymore. You're just amazing. And once that amazingness starts to seep in, you'll feel like we are all one, we are all connected. And a simple analogy is that when your devices are not plugged into electricity, can it function? So, the same thing, when we are not connected to the divine, we don't have the energy to function. So, we have to be plugged in a way. And when you decide to plug yourself out, that's when you feel like, hey, my body is just trying to survive in auto mode on limited energy. So when you're connected to the universe, you have unlimited energy going in to your body, and that's how you feel alive and happy, and you're embracing the dance of divinity. So, having said that, the more you find yourself embracing who you are, the more, and more your journey towards your twin flame is going to happen. But the more you feel like your distance, the more, if you feel like, you know what, I can do it by myself, I don't need the help of the universe, then you're just going to find yourself where you started. So the key is to embrace everything, understand who you are on a soul level. Self realization is a big part of your journey. And the more you go into that, the more you will see yourself transforming. Megan, until I had this little mini break, it felt like I've been in zombie mode because I really did not work myself into a burnout. Oh, that's why it's also important. Mindfulness is important. Taking care of yourself is important. Doing things for yourself is important as well, because you are here for a reason. Everyone has a purpose, everyone has a role to fulfill, and it is in your hands as to how you want to run your life. But again, it's also within you to trust that the universe has its back always, and that you're always being guided by God and the universe and the divine to walk your best path. With that, guys, I'm going to wrap up for the week. Hope you all have an amazing, amazing week. Is there any questions before I end my life? If there's any, this is your chance to ask. Of course, if you guys want a private session, you can always look at my file, and all my services are there, and you can book me in for a session. Always happy to connect with you all. You guys are amazing. And yep, next week I will come in with a much more exciting topic as always. In the meanwhile, take care of yourselves. Enjoy December, because December is just a magical month. And yes, I'll just give it a couple of minutes to see if you all have any questions. All right, looks like probably I've answered everything. I've covered everything I need to cover. Yes. So separation from self, sep- feeling separate from the universe is what's causing you to feel separate with your DM. So often when you start to feel the oneness in everything, you will slowly start to realize that the journey makes sense, and you will understand what this journey is about. With that, talk to you all soon. Take care. Love you all, and love you too, Tammy. And I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.